Hello everyone and welcome back to another vlog. Today we are going to be heading off to a summer auction, but this isn't just a normal auction at all. This auction is basically about all the leftover horses from other auctions around Jorvik, and I like to call this auction the Auction of Jorvik. And this year, it is being held at Jorvik Stables. I must stop the chit-chatting now and best be going, as it is an hour drive ahead of me. I will see you all there. I am now here at Jorvik Stables. The auction has not begun yet, and I was able to look around at the horses to see which horses I'm interested in buying here at this auction. I had just found out that there really is no bidding at this type of auction. It is basically where you just look at a horse during the showcase and then look for the owner and say you want to buy this horse is what it is. There are a few horses that I'm quite interested in, but I really don't know. But I'm going to be purchasing all the horses off camera if I am, or make the decisions also off camera. And I think the auction is about to begin, so I will show you all the showcases of the horses. Alright, so this is the first horse. This is a beautiful leopard print Mustang mare, and she is just breathtaking. This mare is quite very sassy, and apparently does not want anything to do with people. Well, that's at least what it looks like to me, as she's been not wanting to listen to the rider. This horse honestly reminds me of a mare that my friend Stella used to own back in the day before Rosewood. This is quite the cheeky mare, I will be honest. So the next horse is a quite nervous horse. She is very unsure of where her feet should be and what's going on in her surroundings. But this is an American saddlebred mare, and she's just so pretty. Her dappling is just gorgeous. But you could really tell she hasn't got the best training at all. But she would be a good project horse if I was looking for one. To be honest, I really don't know what I'm looking for at all. Next is this handsome American saddlebred gelding. With such pretty bay dappling, he is so pretty. This gelding is such a good mover, but is still quite young, as you can tell, as he is very nervous with his surroundings. For as such of a good mover he is, with just a little bit of guidance and just a tad bit more training, he could be used for a lesson horse, because he is not a bad horse at all. And I think a lot of advanced riders will learn a lot from him. So maybe he would be a good option too. Next, we have this black Sir Francis gelding. When I was looking around, my jaw dropped when I saw this horse. He is so pretty, but I was very unsure as to why he was here, so I was waiting to see his showcase before I made any further decisions with him. Well, the decisions of if I really wanted to get him. When I saw him get into the ring, my heart kind of dropped because he was going to be a very big project horse. But I have to decide if he was going to be worth it. So I waited and watched. As it started, he wanted nothing to do with his rider, trying to find every possible way of throwing her off, but I kind of looked closer and he wasn't trying to injure her. He just wanted nothing to do with her on his back. But after he kind of calmed down and settled to his surroundings just a little bit, he was still on edge. He had such flowy gait and was an amazing mover. Alright, next we have this Pinto Sir Francis mare. This mare is so well trained, she would be an amazing lesson horse for Rosewood. She has no bad temper and she knows what she's doing in the ring. She looks like she's very patient with her rider and does not throw a fit. But because she is so well trained, if I was to buy her, her owners are probably going to want a little bit more for her, as for well trained she is. But she would be such a good lesson horse. I have so many choices. This auction is going to be hard for me. There were a lot more other horses at this auction, but I could only film 2 more as more people were starting to form. And I did not want to block anyone's viewing purposes. So the first horse that I have here is the Shire, and the Shire was so beautiful, but he kept getting dangerously close to the fence line where all the people were standing. And the final straw before they took him out was when he full on bolted at the cameraman, which the cameraman was standing on the inside of the fence at the ring, which is where I got all these videos from. They removed this horse immediately from the premise as it was too dangerous for the people viewing, and the cameraman jumped out. We had to convince the cameraman to go back into the ring one more time. I already knew the Shire was an automatic no for me, as I did not want to have to work with a horse that liked to bolt and be very dangerous to people, especially since Rosewood is going to be a lesson place where little kids will be. This horse was going to be a tad bit too dangerous for me to handle. The last horse was an ETB, or English Thoroughbred. His coat was so beautiful and had such good movements and gaits. But when he started to move fast, you could tell he was in pain and started limping all the time. He was listening to his rider, as he would have probably been a good lesson horse too, but that would have been a lot of money on feet and vet bills for this one horse. So sadly, he was a no from me as well. I really hope that the ETB and the Shire found a home that could help them grow and help them rehab and learn to love again. So, as you could tell, I was sharing my opinions of all the horses that were filmed today while they were in the ring. I have many choices to make and pick what horses I'm truly aiming to get out of this auction. If I'm really trying to go for lesson horses or personal horses, I have to decide. I'm going to need to make a few phone calls to people and meet these horses in person and finally make up my mind. I will see you all shortly. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait for you guys to meet the horses that I'm bringing home. It's so exciting. Hey everyone. It's been a month since the auction, and I kind of completely forgot about this vlog till I found the footage on a file. But I think it's time that I introduce you to the horses that I brought home with me from that auction. And also give an update on how they're going, or how they're doing. I would like you all to first meet Pandora. She is a 15-year-old South Francis mare, and she is quite the schoolmaster. I knew from the get-go that she would be a great lesson horse for Rosewood, and I was completely right. Pandora knows what she's doing, she's very patient with her rider, and she is an amazing fit to the lesson program for the little kids that are wanting to learn how to ride a horse, even though they're quite small. Pandora is a horse that I knew I could trust with anyone, and I'm glad I brought her home to Rosewood. next up is Coop or Cooper. He is an 8-year-old American saddlebred gelding. Coop will be added to the lesson program later on, but I still, as I said at the auction, I'm going to need to help train him up a little bit more. As you can see in the video that I'm showing, he's still quite unsure about poles and where his feet should go. But once he settles down and gets comfortable, he is such a champ. He is so sweet to every kid around, and I'm so glad that he's here at Rosewood, and I cannot wait to see him grow. Then we have Nova. She is a 5-year-old American saddlebred mare. I took Nova back down to the basics, as in the auction she was unsure about everything. I am now reteaching her everything like lunge line, halter training, picking up her feet, poles. I'm introducing everything as slowly as I can for her. You can definitely tell that me going back down to the basics with her is helping, as she went from a nervous train wreck to now being quite confident with herself and where her feet are placed. Nova is so sweet, and I adore this mare so much. When she is ready, Nova will also be added into the lesson program. We have a long way before then, but I know we will get there, and I cannot wait. Here we have Onyx. He is a 6-year-old Stella Francis gelding. I did the exact same thing to Onyx as I did with Nova, and this has also been helping Onyx, but not just in his learning and training, but Onyx has been slowly opening up to me and the other workers here at Rosewood. I've been able to lunge him with a saddle as he's been getting more comfortable, but sadly I did not get that on film. Onyx will become another personal horse for me, as I believe he will be a great eventer. And finally, we have Gypsy. Gypsy now, I found out that she was the exact same horse that Stella owned a long time ago. Decided to buy her for Stella, and Gypsy is now Stella's horse. As Gypsy might become part of the lesson program if needed later on in the future, but for now, she will be Stella's personal horse. As you can definitely tell, ever since I brought Gypsy back to Rosewood, she's become so much more happier with people riding her. She does not throw a fit, as much as she did at the auction. She's so much calmer, and I think is a lot happy, like healthy and happy that she's here. Well, I'm here to wrap it all up now, as this video is very long and I do apologize for it. But this auction brought horses for Rosewood so we can grow the lesson program. I cannot wait for the future of these horses and the future of Rosewood, as I believe it is going to grow so much. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this vlog, and I will see you all next time. Bye, guys.